Hey all, happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me here. Tonight we're continuing on the June Aurifil block of the month. We have these cute little wedge shapes that we're gonna sew. We're gonna sew curves today, so that is the plan. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together and work on a project. And I work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole process along the way, no matter how long that takes. Today we are working, like I said, on the Aurifil block of the month. This is the June embroidery of the month. We did some fussy cutting yesterday. We cut out all of these little butterflies from the fabric. That was kind of a fun, happy accident. Our fabric that we chose happened to have all those cute butterflies in, so that was pretty fun. And today we are going to sew those curves together. So, all right, I'm gonna flip you around. Let's get going here. All right, so I have the iPad up here. This is what the block is going to look like. Hold on a sec here. Okay, there we go. So we are working on that inner piece there. So here's an example of one of our like quarter pieces there. And now we are going to sew it together. So here we go. We are going to do this curved sewing today. And I think it's going to be fun. I don't do this very often. Curves are definitely a shape I'd like to sew better. So this will be good practice for me tonight here. So this is where we're at right now. We still don't have to choose what butterfly goes where yet because we're going to sew these 4 quadrants and then we can rearrange exactly how we what we want at that point and then sew it together. So all right, I'm hoping we can get this part done tonight. All right, let's just pick one and start. So step 1, I'm going to grab some pins because I think we're going to use pins today. All right, so I need to find the center of this. So we're going to match the center of this piece with this center line here, and I'm just going to fold it in half to do that. So I'm going to fold it along this curve, and then have that line match up, and really this point should match up here as best as we can. And I'm just going to kind of finger press. So I'm just going to squish that like that. All right. So now we have that little fold marked. So we're going to put right sides together. We're going to want the wedge shape, these little guys down on the flat surface, and then we're going to flip this and put the right sides together there. So already that's looking crazy, right? So we are going to line up that center line that we did, and you can center that point along the edge. It's nice that we have these 2 pieces with that perfect center right there. And I am going to throw a pin right in that line there. Okay, so there we go. We got the centers matched. Next up, I am going to just bend this guy around and put it right on the end here. So this is going to look crazy, but this is all going to work together. It's going to be like all wiggly on top, but that's fine. We're trying to make a concave curve convex, so it's going to stretch and move. All right, so let's put that flat end there with this little flat edge of the top piece. Don't worry about the middle yet. We'll work on that next. Let's throw a pin there. I think we could probably use wonder clips here too. We'll do one with pins, and then we'll do wonder clips next. Okay, so there we are. So now next We'll do this side later, but for right now we're going to just worry about the this curve between these two pieces. So we want to leave the wedge flat. I think you can maybe see this way better. So I'm going to just kind of pull this flat, and I'm going to try and match up. I'm just going to form this edge little by little around this top edge here around the bottom, and I'm going to just pin along the way. The goal is to get it to go all the way over here, so you might have to just stretch and manipulate it just a hair. Alright, I think I'm going to get one more in there. There, so we've basically stretched that edge. So this edge used to be curved like that, and we just stretched it around this curve. So it's going to be kind of bobbly and weird. This side should still be flat. This side is the part that's kind of being stretched and just like wobbled around the edge there. Okay, so let's do the other. I'm going to match this straight line to this straight line. So, you know, this is this way, this is this way. We're going to just rotate it and get it right on the edge there. Oh, Rebecca, thanks. Rebecca says that she likes the nail polish color. I thought it was going to be more blue, so I think it's a little bit more gray. I thought it'd be blue to kind of match what we're doing here. I think it's like a blue-gray, though. Like I said, I'm working my way through all my nail polishes, old nail polish, before I can buy new stuff. And that pink that I was wearing, I think that was its last day yesterday. It is not going to make it. Alright, I'm just going around this edge again. So we're going to do this one. You know, I could pin all of these, and after this one I might do that, but I want to do one first and see how it turns out, and then I thought maybe I'd try a wonder clip version versus a pin version. Alright, last little bit there. So, okay, so now we just have to slowly stitch around the edge here. When we're stitching, we want to make sure that I'm not like getting, you know, it's so loose here that I might end up with like a little pleat. I'm going to just keep kind of pushing away and trying to get it a nice flat seam without any of these puckers on it. So let's give that a go. I'm going to head to the machine. I am going to get my stiletto out here. I think this is just going to help guide me along the way. So, all right, let's pop over here. Alrighty. So, let's do it. Oh, so Gail says, I'm not making this quilt, but I should do this block to try the circle thing. I think this is going to be awfully pretty. And you don't even have to add the border. I think just, you know, what we're doing here sewn together would be a pretty block. But yeah, go for it. And if you do, be sure to post it. I'd love to see. Ooh, it already wants me to, let's pull that out. It wasn't going forward at all. All right. So I'm still doing that 1/4 inch. We're going slow. 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm gradually trying to curve. I suspect that people who do curves a lot can whip through this pretty quickly. And maybe we'll get a little bit faster as we go, but I don't know, we'll see. And I know some people don't use pins at all, and they're able to do this, so I don't know. I don't know if we'll do that. But this isn't too bad. I could see if you had pre-made a whole pile of these, you could just keep making them. one after each other. So normally I would start the next one, but I'm gonna take this off of the machine just so we can take a look at it before we get too much farther. I can suck up all these pins with my little magnet deal. All right. Let's peek. Oh, so it looks like I might have gotten a little pucker right there that I missed, but I think we'll be able to press that, and you won't be able to see it very much. All right, let's give this a press. Let's finish one of these. It's looking cute. So, unlike other curved shapes, like if you're making something and turning it right side out, or like a circle where you would normally like snip in here, with these type of curves you don't have to, because it's going to actually just lay flat like this. We're just going to pop this over and everything is going to lay perfectly flat. So let's give it a press. I would like to see what this looks like before moving on. All right. So I am going to just kind of slowly go around here and press the edge out. And it should turn out just fine. Yeah, right there is that tiny little pucker, but that actually is going to probably be sewn in. It's kind of close to where the seam allowance will be. And all this, I think, will actually get sewn in as well, because this is about 1/4 of an inch. So ultimately, when we're done with this circle, I don't think we'll be able to see any of that. But there, so the back is perfectly flat. Here is the front. And how slow and gentle you sew, basically like how well you keep your nice arc is how good your circle is going to be. Like I can see like I did a little bump out there, just a hair, but I think it's good. Let's keep going here. All right, so I want to try wonder clips as well, because I do like my wonder clips. So that's these guys right here. I have them in this little case. Okay, let's pick another one. So, all right, to start out, again, we're going to need to find that center. Let me just look through your comments here, too. Oh, okay, Jennifer. Well, I'm sorry you're having trouble. So I am here, you guys, on Facebook and YouTube. Again, so Facebook, I'll be on the Penguin and Fish page. I share it to the group, but it's actually on the Penguin and Fish page. And on YouTube, it is Penguin and Fish Crafters. Or no, Penguin and Fish Movies. Our group is Penguin and Fish Crafters, but YouTube is Penguin and Fish Movies. All right, you guys, so I did that center, match it with the center line, matching that center point. I think I'm going to use these little skinnier wonder clips that I have. All right, we'll clip that right on the edge there. All right, that's our first one. Let's rotate this to the side. There we go. Get our second one in there. This one maybe I'll use a fat one. Okay, and then let's match up this edge. I'm going to go little by little again. That seemed to work easiest. So with these wonder clips, so these are those super strong little clips. These are the minis. The minis come to a tapered point there, and here are the regular ones, have the wider point. In this case, I'm using those mini ones. I think they'll, grab a little less on the edge. But they have a flat side and a curved side. So have the flat side on on your surface, your sewing surface. That'll make things a little bit easier. Slide it just underneath there. All right, let's get one more here. I'm kind of stretching this out a little bit. All right, that's not quite on. Let's try that again. So these curved edges, they can fray a little bit, so I don't want to handle them a ton either. So I want to get this sewn. Oh, so, okay, so in the Splendid Sampler to the Drunkard's Path, oh, it's like the Drunkard's Path block in the Splendid Sampler too. I would like to try one where we minimally pin it just to see what happens. So we're kind of doing a progression here. Let's see. So we're starting with the pins. Now I think I'm going to actually do it from this side, the center out. So we started with pins. Now we're trying the Wonder Clips. Maybe the next one I'll try just minimal clips, like one at the center maybe, and see if that's manageable at all. Just to give it a go, because that would be awesome. Anytime I can skip pinning, I'm down for that, because it always takes so much time, and I mean, pinning's great because you sew things a little bit more accurately typically, but it would be cool to just be able to sew a ton of curves without having to do all this extra work of pinning. So let's give that a try, and then we'll try one with minimal pinning and see how that goes. We're here to experiment and learn, right? So we're going to give it a try. If you want to make a super perfect block and you have a good way of doing this, maybe you don't want to experiment with all this, but I always like trying to test a new skill or practice or try new things, see what works best for me. And all these projects are learning projects for me, really. So with the clips, I'm just kind of opening them and sliding them away. Nice and easy. Trying to sew with a little bit better 1/4" seam allowance and move these big bulky areas away. I think that last seam allowance I was maybe a little bit big, a little bit wide on it. So because this was cut on a curve, just like when you cut something on the bias or the diagonal, like cutting a piece of fabric on the diagonal of the way it was woven, like the vertical and horizontal way it was woven, if you cut on a diagonal, that is more stretchy. That's a stretchier edge than just cutting it along the grain or with the thread, basically. So horizontally or vertically. And curves are similar, so this does have some stretch to it, so I can kind of form it to where I want it to go. And you know what? Maybe that's why not using pins might work, is because I can keep moving it to wherever I need it to be. So I hope that's the case. I think I might just start the next one here, and then we'll press all these at once. But that looks nice. All right, I'm going to try another one. I'm going to just stay right here. We'll remove all these fellers. I'll keep one for the center. All right. Now I'm getting daring here a little bit, I think. All right, I'm marking the center here again. Just finger pressing it. And let's align that middle. That's kind of our important marker. Okay, and I'm gonna just throw a clip in there. Okay, let's see if we can do this. I'm a little scared, but we're gonna give it a try. So I'm doing this without any pins. That might be crazy. I do have my stiletto here though, so that's gonna help me out. Let's match up this edge. Hold it there with my stiletto. Okay, it's on the machine. The needle's down. Now I can kind of form the rest of this. And I think I can just kind of pull at this middle here and just keep trying to get these edges to match. The pulling on it kind of stretches the curve. And look, it's totally going in the right spot. Ha-ha! Okay, I'm digging it. Okay, we're getting to that center point. I'm going to go right to where that clip was. So about right there, I can feel that I'm kind of in that center seam. So now let's try and get the rest of this. Ha! This might be fabulous. I'm going to do this for the next one too, in theory. Let's see how the second half goes, though. All right, so again, I'm just kind of stretching it. Get all the fingers in here working. Expect there's an easier way to do what I'm like. This is a weird way to hold stuff, but there we go. We got it all kind of down here. Trying new things. Okay, let's match this edge up. Ooh, I don't want to pucker in there. Just gonna lift this up. My needle's down. But I think I got a little pucker happening. I'm just gonna push that out of the way. All right, I think that totally worked. All right, so I'm going to do the other one right away. I'm gonna leave this on the machine. We have one last one here. So that's great. So yay! So I'm gonna press these next, and then we basically have 4 squares. We're gonna have 4 squares. Out of all these curves, we're gonna end up with 4 squares that need to be sewn together. So that'll be our next step after we press. We're just sewing a 4 patch together. All right, there's my center again. All right. I did the block. Oh, Bonnie's saying I did the block. Oh, I did the drunkard's path block. So, like I said, I don't do a lot of curves, but I've done them. So we did that for the Splendid Sampler too already. But I'm guessing we did pretty similar to this. I'm trying to get this no pinning situation down. Like I said, if you're doing curves all the time, I'm thinking you become way more coordinated at this than I am right now. But I can see that this is working. This is totally working, just kind of laying out the curve and then going, which I'm really happy about. I could see, like, if you had a whole quilt of this, you wouldn't want to pin all of those. That'd be a super big bummer, but like, if you get good at doing it this way, I mean, that'd be pretty awesome. I'm just gonna kind of start and hope that it matches up at the end. Let's try it that way. I mean, it's still starting and stopping, at least for me, to kind of rematch things up. Oh, I should get this end matched. But I like not having to use pins a lot. Okay, yay! That's it. Let's press all of these. Okay, see how we did. So, all right, the first one, let's press the one that we did with the Wonder Clips. Oh, let's put those away. I don't think we'll need these anymore, hopefully. Ooh, this is going to totally fall apart. There we go. Okay, grabbing the mat here. So here's the one that we already did. So this is the one that we did with the clips. And I think these are probably all going to just turn out exactly just fine. But yeah, the time saved with not pinning, I think, is fabulous. So I needed a little warm up here with the wonder clips and the pins, maybe. But we'll see. I haven't pressed those ones yet, so maybe they'll be crazy. But I think we're good. This I think this one was sewn better than our first one. This is with the wonder clips, but I think it was more that I just needed a little warm up, since that one with the Splendid Sampler 2 that we did of this, that was probably the last time I've done anything curved related. I'm just repressing the edges on this one. I think my seam allowance was a little too big with this one, and I course corrected here, because this one lines up really nice on the end, whereas this one I'm a little shy. Like I have like a 1/16 of an inch more I could have gone, whereas this one lines up a whole lot nicer on the top. All right, now let's grab these ones. These are the ones that we did without anything, without any clips. I am just kind of starting in the curve and then pressing out. Ooh, this one I maybe got a little bit big with my seam allowance at the end there. But again, all that's going to be sewn in. I don't think we're going to see any of that. Oh yeah, sorry Kathy, Kathy says it's a bad time to show up late. Yeah, we're just finishing the curves here. But yeah, if you guys are just showing up, I tried pinning the curves, then clipping the curves with wonder clips, and then these last two I did by just clipping the middle, and then doing the rest without any pins or clips at all. And I think we're getting it down a little bit now. Too bad I don't have like 12 more of these to go or something. I was just getting in the groove of the circles. So all right, you guys, we are done with those curves. So hard part of this I think is done. We still have embroidery and stuff to do yet, but I think we'll get there. All right, so next up is how do we arrange this? I suppose it doesn't matter all that much. This is probably fine just like this. I think why spend tons of time like figuring out, the best place for all these. Let's just leave them. We'll leave it right here as is. So now we literally have 4 squares here. Those circles, all these curvy shapes ended up with, we just got a plain old square. All right, so we'll sew these 2 together and these 2 together, and then we'll take it off the machine and press them. We'll press them open again, and then we will go like that, and we'll be done with the center area. So we still have an outer border, and I'm hoping we can get to that tonight. I have to look at the instructions on the size of those, but excited to be this far on this block. Okay, let's fold these together. So we do have some things we need to match up for sure. So I'm going to want this arch to perfectly match up with this arch. I wonder if she says anything about that. Stitch the 2 units together, creating 2 sets, resulting in 2 half circles. Okay, so no. So I'm going to just fold these together, but I am going to really want to match. Okay, first of all, I'm matching. There's a few things I want to match. I want to get these lines to match up right. So I'm actually gonna let's use a few clips. Let's try and be a little bit more exact here instead of just stitching really quick down the side. So I am gonna try and match these 2 seam lines. Let's just throw a clip there. Then of course I need to match up my edge. But then the other thing I want to match up is I want to try and get these seams, these curved seams, and I can feel them. I can see them and feel them. I want to try and get those to match up. So those are tricky because they're all pressed outward. So I got tons of bulk here, and I got like 6 layers of fabric here from the folds and only 2 here. So the machine is going to want to jump and not get this perfect. So I'm going to just throw a clip, I think right underneath them here, so I can start sewing. And I'm just going to kind of feel where those match up. And I'm hoping they stay matched up. All right, let's continue. All right, and I'm just going to hold those seams with my stiletto here. All right, I'm going to get going on this piece right away. So this is the bottom. We'll fold these together. Let's match up those edges again here. Well, we'll put that there for now, but I'm going to have to move that to start sewing. But let's get this edge together. You know, we really could sew this the same way. I'm going to do that. I'm going to sew it the exact same way, so I just flipped it around. I'm going to match up this top. Well, I didn't really need to take this clip off, did I? Let's rematch that up. Match up our edge. And then really try and match up these seams up here. They seem like they want to be a little off. Okay. Just gonna get that clip underneath. All right, let's see how we do. There, it's a little bulky. I'm just trying to even it out. Phew, okay, let's see what we got. Had to go in full concentration mode. Oh, so casing start at the other end. So start at the sewing on this end and then end up there. I kind of felt like maybe I should do that, but I was halfway sewing the second one. So I saw that comment just a hair too late, but I'm hoping that this will be okay. We'll see. Let's open these up, and I'm gonna press them with an open seam here too. Oh, phew. Okay, good. So that seam matched up great, and it looks like this seam is coming to a point there too, meaning we matched that up. So, oof. Okay, I feel good about that one. That's our bottom one, or it doesn't really matter. This one, ooh, so now, see, this one is just a teeny tish off, you know, not something that noticeable, so I'm not too worried about that. And this bottom one, that matches up great. So, all right, I think this was the winner, though. So, all right, let's press these open. So to do that again, we're going to press, this was that tip again that someone gave me last time we were pressing seams open, so I'm just pressing the seam first to set it. Then we're going to press it to one side. All right, and flip it around, and there we've pressed it to the one side. Now we're going to actually press it to the other side. And that's going to kind of make it stand straight up. And then I'm just going to kind of get at it with my fingers, and then it should open easier. And it is. This is making seams be a whole lot easier. The open seams. I hate pressing seams open, But that tip, pressing it one way and then the other way before opening it, that was really helpful for me. All right, and then just the final press on top. All right, looking good. Let's do the other side. All right, pressing that seam. Okay, press this side. There we go. Now let's press it the opposite direction. There, now it's standing upright kind of again. Just kind of bopping it open. There we go. Still warm. I should have done that this way because these seams want to press the other way. There we go. Looks like a globe almost. A globe of butterflies. Butterflies in cities. That's that's what's in this globe. Alrighty, so there we go. We have our two pieces. So now the last bit, obviously, is sewing these together. But now we have 3 major points, right? We have to match these 2 seams. And there's a whole lot that we need to match in the middle. So I think I'm going to start with the middle here. And I'm going to do that pin method. So this is that method that I use for foundation paper piecing a lot. But so to show you what I'm trying to do here. So this point right there, I want to perfectly match up with that point. And that's not always the easiest thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this around. And I'm going to go from the back side. I can kind of see where the seams match up here. I'm going to go straight down. And I'm going to try, oh, there, I got it right away, where the pin is going right in the middle of those 2 seams. So the pin is right now where all the seams meet, right here. Okay, then I'm going to put right sides together. But I'm going to put this pin exactly through this point right here where I want it to all match up perfectly. All right, so then we're going to just kind of try and get the sides together so they start going together. But now I'm going to focus on the middle here. I'm going to move this pin so it is perfectly straight up and down like this and sideways. So I want basically I don't want it shifted. Like if the pin's like this, then I know that this side has shifted that point this way a little and this side has shifted that way. If I straighten it, then those 2 points have lined up again. But I need it straight here and I need it straight this way so they don't shift up and down. And when I have that, and these edges seem aligned enough, I'm going to throw a clip right in there. Kind of just right up to the pin. Okay, then I can remove that pin. So now I know that at least those 2 points should be pretty close to matching. That's the hope at least. And now we can match up these little buggers again here. So I'm just kind of really, first of all, lining the edge and really trying to match these up. The back one wants to go a little lower there. All right, I think that looks decent. So let's clip right underneath there. All right, and I don't think we need a clip on the middle here. I'll just kind of, the top seems a little more flexible than the bottom here. Oh, and I can see why. So this bottom, I don't know if you can tell, but my bottom piece, if you see the lines, you can see the weave of the fabric going this way and this way. That means this thread is actually cut along the lines of the grain, whereas if you look at this side, you can see the lines, it's going this way and this way. So my cut is actually a diagonal, so on the bias of the woven lines of the fabric here. And like I was saying earlier, those things that are cut across the grain, they're stretchier. So that makes sense that this bottom one isn't like moving at all, but this top one seems a little bulky, a little more loose, and it's because it's a stretchier side. So now this one, we'll see if that same thing happens, because both of these are kind of on the diagonal. So let's see if this one feels a little bit better here. All right, I'm going to clip these guys together. All right, and yeah, see, those ones just match up better. See, it's just flat. Both sides feel the same, whereas this side has a stretchy one and a not stretchy one, so that's a little tough. We'll have to see how, we'll have to just kind of go slowly on the top there and try and keep making sure that that top isn't stretching even more. You know, I might actually just even clip it in the middle. Then we can divide like the stretchiness on either side. But there, we gotta get rid of that bubble a little bit. So, all right, let's get started first. Move this guy. All right, hopefully we did okay there. And now we gotta worry about this top thing. All right, move that clip. Okay, we're approaching that center. I'm going to take this away, and I'm trying not to move that at all. And we're going to aim for where those fabric points meet, and I can see that it's right here. So I'm going to hopefully sew directly through that. Okay, let's hope that I got it there. It's always scary. Whether you get trying to like match up those points. All right, and then this side to the end. Okay, let's try and keep these points matched. Okay. Ha-ha! Let's see what we got. Let's see how we did. And then we got this center done. It's onto the gray border. So I'm hoping that we can start stitching that border tomorrow. So we'll see how far we get on it tonight, but let's see how we did here. Ooh, that's looking pretty good. How we do on the center point? Ooh, that looks freaking fabulous. See how there's so much coming to the middle here, and they all match up. So that is totally that pin method. All of those points matching up great. And then this side, that side's a hair off, I would say, but well, I'm happy about that center point there. These will kind of be cut off anyway once we sew them into the quilt, so I think into the gray borders. We're gonna lose this whole edge here. It's gonna be right up against the circle, so maybe that will make this sort of thing disappear. So let's press it open again. All right, get that seam. So yeah, so that's what helps. That's why the pin method helps. And really, I could have probably done that on these ends too. So if I wouldn't have done that, then you know, first of all, I might have sewn in too far. So then it would look like that. I would have clipped off a few of the points instead of having all the points match up, or they might have shifted a little, like how this has shifted up a little bit. So you know, the center might have just been shifted off. So this top area might be shifted this way and the bottom that way. So doing that pin really gets all those important parts all lined up. Ooh, and I smushed my open seam there. Let's just repress that. Not that it really matters at this point, but I want it to be pretty on the back still. Okay, so let's press this the opposite direction. I'm just gonna try and get that seam again. All right. Now let's try and pop that open like we've been doing. There's a lot of bulk in this middle now. All of those points have come together, so all of these seam allowances are all meeting right in the middle there. This is where someone would get their mallet and try and pound this area flat to just get it extra flat. I'm not going to want to, when we quilt this, I'm not going to want to stitch right through this middle point because I'll probably break the needle if I do that, just because there is so much bulk in the middle there. All right, let's flip it to the front, and I'm going to try just making sure those seams are flat when I flip it. All right, and we'll get a final kind of squish on here. Looking cute though, I'm very excited about it. So, all right, we have the middle done. So all that's left, it doesn't look quite square, but hopefully we'll be able to putz with that a little bit when we sew on this outside. So let's look at the instructions. So I don't know the size of these borders. I suppose we could just kind of measure this inside to figure it out, but let's read the instructions. So this is what my borders are going to be. So this is going to sit on this purple, which I think will, or this kind of gray. I keep saying purple. It has some purple in it, but it's gray. So it'll sit on the inside of that. Let's check out the instructions for this part. Okay. So hold on a sec. There we are. Oh, maybe it was a little bit better up. Sorry. Okay. Done with that. Moving on. Okay. Cut the borders. Let's look. Maybe there's cutting instructions. I'm assuming there is. All right. Okay, Sashiko pre-printed fabric. So instead of the Sashiko fabric, which has that embroidery design right on there, I'm going to just use the gray. Okay, from a fat quarter. Okay, well, I'm using more than a fat quarter. Okay, I'm not sure. Pin one. I'm not sure there's instructions for. Okay, it doesn't look like there's instructions for the cutting of this border. So let's just see if there's insight down here. Okay, it looks like 2.5 inches. So let's just read to make sure. Cut 2 borders from pre-printed Sashiko fabric. The print I used is called Shippo Tsunagi. Shippo Tsunagi pattern. 2.5 inches wide and the length of the top and bottom of the block. Okay, so we are going to have to measure, but they're 2.5 inch wide strips. Okay, fine. All right, we can do that. So 2.5 inch strips. It didn't say exactly the size, so we are going to have to measure. Let's get the cutting board out here. In theory, we should probably be squaring this up now, but we're going to just see what happens here. So let's just throw it on the measuring. Let's just start at the bottom, then I don't have to count. Okay, mine's about, let me know how your guys's are, but mine's about 8.5 inches if I kind of stretch it out a bit by 8.5 inches. I think maybe I should stretch it. So I don't know. Does that seem right to you guys? Did you guys get 8.5 inches for yours? I'm actually kind of slightly shy of it, but I think if I pull on it a little bit when we sew, we'll be fine. I suspect it should be a normal number, like 8.5. So let me know if that's what you guys got. Oh, Carol said I bought a rubber mallet. I would give it a try. I think with a rubber mallet, I know that those can leave marks. I would maybe put a piece of parchment paper down first to hammer it, but I don't know. That's what they say. People get their little mallets to really smush these big fat areas flat. I should give that a try sometime. All right, so I'm going to just say that this is 8.5 inches. So I need 2. I don't know if we should do the sides first or the top and bottom, but I suppose it doesn't matter. I need 2 8.5 inches by 2 inches. Oh, measure in the middle. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's what we do for quilts and stuff too. So in the middle, it's a good 8.5 inches. So okay, perfect. 8.5 inches. Done. We're calling it. Good call, Jenna. All right, 8.5 inches. So we need two 2.5 inch 2.5 inch by 8.5. Okay, and then we should end up with 12.5. So we'll need 12.5 by 2.5. Okay, let's do it. 2 of each of those. All right. I suppose I still need that cutting board, huh? Let's figure that out with this giant gray fabric. So this fabric, again, is not normal quilting weight fabric. I think it's more for garment sewing, so it has a different feel to it. Yep, we're 8.5 both ways. So let's see, I'm just trying to find an edge on this thing. Okay. What do we got going on here? All right, I'm wondering if we can just cut 2.5 inches from here. Like fold this up a few times and see what we got. This is folded once. Let's see, what kind of length do we have here? All right, we need that 8.5, so that'd be about right there. And then we need 12. Ugh, so this doesn't quite get us there. However, for the sake of this being easy, I think I might just trim. Well, actually, maybe not. I was thinking, oh, I'll just trim all my 2.5 inches, like do it twice. But now I'm looking, we have these vertical lines, or these lines here. I'm thinking maybe I want to cut it this way, my 2.5 inch, so I have all of these kind of more vertical lines, versus if I cut it this way, then I'll have these long strips. So it would be like this. Every side would be like a long strip like this. So all of the sides would end up being like that. Versus if I cut my 2.5 inch strip this way, then I'd have like all these different colors. Oh, I like that a lot better. You know, I'd have all of these vertical lines. I think that makes more sense because I have all this purple in here, and that kind of brings in the purple of the rest. So I'm going to want to cut on this edge, not this edge in that case. So let's try and match maybe this edge I got. Oh gosh, I have a ton more length here. Ugh, although it's so crazy feeling, this fabric. And it's extra long. Okay. Let's see. Maybe let's just get this edge. I'm still folded up. There we go. All right. Oh, and it looks like I have a kind of a weird cut started, so this might work great. Let's match these ends up. So this does feel longer. I'm going to just cut. I'm going to actually fold it again, and we're going to cut our 2.5 inches. Ooh, fabric is bizarre. Like, look how uneven it is, but I think it's just stretched out. All right. I got to lift up this bottom edge because it's bulky, and I think that's pulling on it. I'm going to try and make it so these aren't all stretched out. We will trim that edge for sure. But I do want to fold this again to make this a bit easier to cut. Then I can cut it in one big bout. Okay. We're getting it. Getting it. Okay. 2.5 inches. We are going to do it. So I'm going to use the 2 ruler method because I don't want to move. I have all this bulk sitting here, and I don't want to rotate my whole piece or rotate the fabric, especially after layering it all like this. I don't want to rotate the fabric after I've cut it. Ugh, all right, let's just give this a try. I am trying to line up the folds along a straight edge so that when they unfold, they'll still be straight. All right, let's get a couple of the bigger rulers out here. Okay, so first off, I'm going to just trim yeah, I'm going to trim this whole inch off of it because I have a shorter pieces on the underneath side of this. All right, get the glove on, get the rotary cutter out here. Okay, nice clean edge, and again, I don't want to move around. I don't want to like move this too much. So I'm actually going to slide it over here, and now I'm going to match that 2.5 inches, 1, 2.5 along that edge I just cut. Then I'm going to actually take this smaller ruler that I have. It doesn't matter that it's smaller, it's still, the length is enough. And I'm going to match it up. So this is my measurement, the 2.5 inches along that nice edge. I'm going to hold that down, and I'm going to just butt up this ruler right next to it. Hold that down now. And now when I remove this one, then I have my 2.5 inches here yet. So that's the 2 ruler method. And really, I only use that when I don't want to aggravate anything here. I don't want to shift anything. I don't want to move anything. So that 2 ruler method helps me accomplish that. Going slow with this. Phew, okay. Let's let that be, and I'm gonna scooch all this out of the way. All right. Phew, okay, so now I just need those 8.5 inches and the 12.5 inches, so that should be easier. So I'm gonna unfold this actually, and I think I'm gonna just leave it exactly where it is on this line. Let's just shift this over an edge. There, I'm going to trim there, and this will be my 8 inches. So I still have 2 pieces together. Obviously, this wasn't quite straight, so we're going to have little kind of angled lines here, but that's okay. Let's just trim this off. All right, and you know what? I think I'm going to just use the ruler for my 8.5 inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5. Let's just peek that that's right. Yep, there we go. Good. Just making sure. Okay, so that's the first part. Those are our 2 8.5 inches. So that's, the top and the bottom, really. Ooh, that's going to be fun. Okay. Whew. Stressful. Okay, so that's the first, and now we need 12.5. So the whole thing, when we're done, is going to be 12.5 inches. So now I got that little, this is my curve, my fold wasn't right on the line, so I got this weird angle here. I'm going to see if maybe this other half is 12 inches, so I don't have to use that angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, good. I'm going to skip this weird part that got angled, and I'm just going to trim. I'm going to actually rotate this around. I'm going to start from this side, and then this will be the scrap over here. So I'm lining it on the edge here. Get the glove on. Oh yeah, I should have made it bigger because we're gonna all you guys are right. Wish I would have read all those comments. So they're saying make it a bit bigger than what you're expecting, because we're gonna do that embroidery, and having my hands on the piece are gonna just kind of make the edges more and more raw, and pulling on the fabric with the stitches might just kind of pull in the fabric a little too, which will shrink this a little bit. Well, it's too late now, I guess, so we're going to just have to deal, and I'm going to just have to be extra careful that I don't try and like pull too much, and we're going to just have to press it really good or something. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and a half. So we should go right here. And just to double check, 8.5 and 2.5, we're going to end up with an 8 in the middle and a 2 1/4 on each side, which will get us 12 1/2. Okay. And that is the size that this should end up being, but just doing a little quilt math. All right. We got our pieces. I feel good about this. I think we did it here. So, all right, let's start with this. I'm going to do the top and bottom. I suppose it doesn't matter much, but I'm going to go, and I don't even know what's the top or bottom. I'm going to do whatever these are here along the edges. And you know what? I think I might actually clip these as well. So I'm going to just do right sides together. This doesn't really have a right or wrong side. Let's just plop it down. And I do want to kind of match everything. And I think, you know what? Our little trick that we do sometimes with sewing, if one piece feels a little bit bigger, so this purple piece or gray piece feels a little bit bigger than the rest, like I need to stretch the top to fit the bottom, I am going to actually sew with this fabric on the bottom, like this. So the big goes on the bottom, but first I'm going to just kind of match up the ends. That would be a good idea, Bonnie. Bonnie's saying to do some fray check. I do not have any of that though. That's like it's like a little glue, isn't it? That you can kind of put on the edge so it doesn't fray. We're just gonna have to be careful. I don't really have anything to stop the fraying. I mean, ultimately I'm gonna want to get it sewn into a quilt, so it is sewn in. Once it's sewn, I'm not worried about it. But yeah, the edges while we stitch, that'll be interesting. I'm gonna have to be careful for sure. All right, so see how it's bigger. I'm gonna have to try and see if that works. This is right? The big goes to the bottom. I always get that a little confused, but I think we'll be fine. The other reason it'll be nice to have this on top too is because we want to match up that edge. So we're gonna want to sew right through that edge of the circle to have our circle perfectly meet the edge of our piece here. Oh, stay stitch the edge. Oh, that's a good idea. So that's a great idea. Okay, so Jenna and Kay over on Facebook are saying to stay stitch the edge. And what that means is that when we're done with sewing all the sides on, so we have all 4 sides. Oh, you guys, it's like way after already. After we've done sewing all the sides on, we're going to sew all the way around the edge, and that will help just keep things in place. So you know what? I think we might end it right here, all clipped and ready to go for tomorrow. I know I'm leaving it right at is this gonna work point? But we're getting there, you guys. So this will end up like this, and then we will get those other sides on here. So we're gonna just leave it at this for tonight, I think. And we got our pieces cut, so tomorrow we will finish this border. I think that will go pretty quickly. And then we will start doing this sashiko stuff. So yeah, Chrissy's saying you would use the freezer paper to stitch through. Oh, that should help the edges. You're absolutely right. So we are going to try and do that freezer paper method. It's not even, you don't even have to use freezer paper. Well, that's probably the easiest way. There's freezer paper, or there's like a tearaway embroidery stabilizer. That could work as well. So we will play with that for the sashiko. So I'm going to look into tomorrow how to do the sashiko design, how we might want to give that a go. And we're only going to have 3 days to do it, so hopefully we can make it kind of simple and fun. I have a feeling we might not quite get all that done, but we're going to give it a go. We'll draw up some, we'll finish sewing this, draw up some designs on the freezer paper, stick it on, and we will start stitching through it. Oh, and when we finish these borders, I will sew all the way around. That will help some of the fraying, some of the stretching of this fabric, I suspect. So, all right, I'm going to flip you around, and we'll call it an evening here. Oh yes, Tracy says let's stay late. I know, I kind of want to, but I'm just thinking we got both these borders yet, and that's gonna be a while yet, because I'm gonna just take time, and if I do the borders, I'm gonna want to do the stay stitch. So that's like a whole nother half hour to 40 minutes probably. So yeah, it's probably good time to stop now. I'll come back in on it when I have my wits about me again, trying to sew like this last nice final part. But here we are. Here's the piece, kind of the middle piece with our borders started. Ah, those butterflies look so cool. I love how that turned out with the butterflies. That was fun. That was a neat little surprise that fabric just worked out like that. So that's neat. So, all right, you guys, tomorrow we will finish this up, this pre-embroidery part. So thanks again. The embroidery of the month is still going on until the end of June, which is crazy, is almost done. So if you wanted that Stitchin' Hedgie bag, that drawstring bag, we do still have those. So you did not miss out on the bag if you still wanted one, or if you wanted to gift one. So those are still available, and they will ship out next day, really. So, all right, have a fabulous evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night, guys.